today's video, we're going to be taking a look at our models where there is multiple upcoming severe weather activity events, also multiple big coastal storms that we need to talk about. The entire eastern seaboard and really the Gulf Coast as well, for that matter, is going to be seeing extreme amounts of precipitation over the next 10 to 15 days. We're going to be going over that today. There is also some snow threats in here that we're going to be going over. As we take a look at tomorrow afternoon, what we see is our first storm of this nature, where we see the precipitation starting out here for Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Florida. Some of this could be in the form of thunderstorm activity, especially on the eastern end of things. Not to say that this can't be thunderstorms or severe weather, but mostly this eastern end is the area that I'm watching. We also see some snowfall to the north here for the Great Lakes and upper Midwest, as well as some of the Northeast, including and pretty limited to New York. We also have kind of just this colder, drier air up to the north, where we still have this push of warmth. And this right here is going to cause some activity to really flourish. As you can see, this storm really gets going by Saturday afternoon, where we have a 996 millibar low pressure center offshore of North Carolina at that point. Storms happening up and down the East Coast, both in the form of showers and thunderstorms. We also have a pretty decent area of snowfall for northern Pennsylvania in through New York and New England. It's actually pretty heavy snowfall, so should accumulate pretty easily. By Sunday, what we're taking a look at, this is March 24th, is all of this activity has kind of cleared off the coast for the east. But we have another storm system over eastern Colorado, a 980 millibar low pressure center. And this is helping some snowfall to develop for the Four Corner states, as well as the other kind of Rocky Mountain states in there. Also, the northern plains and upper Midwest is dealing with quite a bit of snowfall. And then we have this kind of thunderstorm and shower quadrant down here for southern Nebraska in through Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. We will be watching for severe weather in this area, as warm air and humid air is really just making its way into this area. Meanwhile, we have the cold air trying to swing underneath. This is creating a really recipe for severe weather, if you ask me. By Sunday, or better yet, Monday afternoon on the 25th, this is a 991 now over Iowa. Big old thunderstorm quadrant here for Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Missouri, and Illinois. Could feature some severe weather, definitely something we're watching, but also that moderate to heavy snowfall for Nebraska, the Dakotas, Minnesota in there, including some surrounding states as well. Let's just dive through towards Tuesday on the 26th, and this thunderstorm area moves more towards the deeper south in here and the Ohio Valley to the north, where states like Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky are going to be involved, as well as Tennessee, Mississippi, and Alabama, as well as Georgia. So a pretty wide area still of thunderstorm activity. And then we see this move towards the East Coast for Thursday afternoon, where we're going to have our next round of kind of showers and thunderstorms. 997 offshore of South Carolina, and this one also looks to move up the coast. So again, these coastal storms are going to be a very common sight here in this model run. So let's keep going with it. Towards Friday afternoon, and we see this low is now a 989 millibar low pressure center over the mid-Atlantic here, and also involving some of the Northeast also. But we have our next storm system, 992 now. Thunderstorms out to the east of that low, snowfall to the northwest of it. Certainly a very active pattern as we see yet another storm move through, and really not looking to slow down anytime soon. The interesting thing here by Sunday on the 31st, which is the end of this European model run, is we have cold air and snowfall really diving in for the western states here, so that activity is returning. And this causes that negative PNA effect that just stands for Pacific North American Oscillation. The negative means cold out west, the positive means warm out west, and almost always the opposite happens for the plains and the east. And sure enough, we see that here. Cold temperatures happen for the west. This warmth surges for the east here as we see a ridge building, and also some coastal activity still, which is really the theme of that model run. Now, let's take a look at the GFS model, and I actually have to switch it here. And as you can see, We have a lot of that same activity happening, of course. We get this next round of thunderstorms for Thursday time frame, kind of the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday time frame, better yet. We get that next storm, which comes in a little bit further south on this particular model. Snowfall to the upper Midwest and Great Lakes here. And then also thunderstorm activity to the south of that low. This in particular, we're always kind of watching that eastern and southern area of the low. I would be watching for potential thunderstorms in this entire area here as it moves through. So we watch that low kind of move around that area. And we get somewhat of some activity through that pocket. We'll be watching for thunderstorms and some severe weather in there. And this is as we're reaching the 31st, so we actually get more range here on the GFS model. Another cold front moves through. This one has a lot more potential because these lows are way up in Canada, as you can see. So let me backtrack because this could be a widespread thunderstorm event for the central and eastern states. We see things really popping off and starting out with this 989 millibar low pressure center over southern Canada. Lots and lots of cold air charged behind this cold front, so that's moving in pretty rapidly. We have a secondary low here to the south, 1006, and really this entire area is acting as a cold front, so expect potential thunderstorms in this area in this type of instance. This model says April 2nd and 3rd this will be happening. Keep in mind that this is well beyond 10 days, and beyond 10 days you want to take things with a grain of salt for sure. And then we see it reach the East Coast by Wednesday into Thursday, and then that eventually moves out, and this is the end of this model run. Let's take a look at the total precipitation, and again, pretty striking for the West Coast here, actually. We're seeing a lot as many storms move on shore, and then for the Gulf and East Coast here, high amounts. The yellows is going to be anywhere from 1 inch to 2 inches, and this is only the next 10 days, by the way. So that's a whole 1 to 2 inches over the next 10 days. The reds is 2 to 5 inches over the next 10 days. And then those browns, which we're seeing pretty prevalent across the Mid-Atlantic and New England areas in here, that would be 5 to 10 inches of precipitation over the next 10 days, which is obviously a very large and far above average amount for these areas. Total snowfall over the next 10 days. We see a lot here for the West, a lot here for the Northern Plains and Upper Midwest, and then also a lot here for the New England and kind of Adirondack mountain area here of New York. We're seeing 1 to maybe even 2 or 3 feet over the next 10 days. The GFS model agrees pretty much on every front. We have feet of snowfall for the mountainous West, feet of snowfall for the Upper Midwest and Northern Plains here, and then feet of snowfall for the Adirondacks into New England as well. Let's take a look at that upcoming temperature pattern. We're a little colder right now. We will see these warm-ups, and this is exactly when these cold fronts are happening, okay? So we've been seeing this a lot. We see this warmth pushing its way up the East Coast here, with the cold front setting up something like this, moving in and hitting it from the side. I talk to you guys about this all the time, but this is how it looks on the temperature map, and this causes plenty of storms around this area and probably severe weather to the south here along that boundary. And we see this happen numerous times over this model run. We see the surge of warmth again. You can literally see it without me drawing any arrows, but this warmth is surging and the cold front is developing in these areas and causing thunderstorm activity along that frontal boundary. That's time number 2. Here's time number 3, where we see that happen again. And then time number 4 there, we see it once more, and we're almost getting a 5th, I think, here, where we see this warmth surging in and cold trying to hit it from the north. So 4 or 5 of these cold fronts over the next 10 to 15 days is absolutely mind-boggling. We're going to be tracking this very closely for you guys, so be sure to continue to watch the channel. We upload every single day, so you can subscribe for those. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload, so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.